To our CEO and president, um, Dr. Corbin, Becky, and I just wanted to open the floor if you wanted to welcome everyone today.
Yeah, well, thank you, Darcy. You do a fantastic job leading the Radcliffe relationship, which is many years in the making. And we're very grateful to Carlene Cassidy, who's not on the call, but is very, very engaged in this project. She was with us in Tucson, Arizona, just last week. We had a fantastic summit talking about different ways to raise money and engage with workforce. So I just wanted to welcome you all. I think it's outstanding to have so many new colleges, and Tallahassee, to have you back again. You guys are sort of like a champion, like reigning champion, winning a couple of years. So I'm just going to turn it back over to you, Darcy, but I'm just grateful for you guys. I just really encourage you, do the pitch. You will learn so much. You will have so much fun. And it's not just about the pitch prize. You know, there's some money set aside for travel. There's other professional development, and it's just becoming part of a community that Darcy does such a great job stewarding. So I'm going to put myself on mute and be all ears. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. So what we have is I have a PowerPoint that will go through the pitch competition. And so if you have any questions, please ask. If I do not know, I will follow up with Carlene and Becky because sometimes there are specific questions that are new to the event. But I don't want to say it's laid back because it is a stressful event if you start participating and going through the steps, but NACCE tries to make it as easy and have as much support to be successful to your pitches as much as possible. So with that, I am going to get started and hopefully this will work out. Okay. The host has disabled screen sharing. Debbie, can we screen share? Can I screen share? Okay, so what I will do is
You
go
know,
through
Debbie,
it
if you could make Darcy the co-host, I think that might do the trick.
because I can just use it as my notes and talk through it. So what happened is that the pitch started 5 years ago, and we so it started in 2019, and in 2019 there were 5 winners, and since then we have had a total of 25 winners, and if you include pitch for the foundation, we have over 30 winners. So we did the foundation for 1 year, but realized that ties back into the pitch for the skilled trades. So with working that, we focus completely on the skilled trades. And we have representation from across the country. We have representation from California, Idaho, Michigan, Florida, North Carolina, Indiana, Tennessee. So it is definitely representative from across the country. And what we try to do is that I'm available to answer any questions as the process goes through. And then as we go from the semifinals to the finalists, we have mentors to help out with the teams that have progressed to the next level because we want everyone to be as successful as possible in this process. So, um, the concept is that it's a competition for faculty, staff, administrators, and presidents, and you must be a NACCE college to pitch. And what it is there's a panel of judges. You have 2 sets. You'll have a set that is part of the semifinal round, and then there's another pitch of judges that is at the national conference there. So there's 2 levels. And what we do is that the semifinalists is that we have the same rubric for both competitions. So it's not like we change the rules or everything. The rubric is on the website. And so you have access to it. You see exactly what is going to be asked. You see exactly what is going to be measured. And then we provide assistance again to go to the final. So it's not like one shot and done. We try to help and encourage and support success. Competitive projects are those that demonstrate greatest economic impact on the local level with respect to jobs created, employment obtained, income earned, businesses launched, and return on investment. And the key to this is that all the pitches are 3 minutes. So in the semifinalist round, there's a 3 minute pitch, as well as in the finalist round, it is a 3 minute pitch. You can do it. A lot of people say that this is hard to achieve, but through practice and figuring out your content and using your slides as a third person on stage, it is doable, it's successful, and we can provide that assistance in getting all that content together as much as possible. Um, in the description, it was mentioning about job created, employment earned. So what it is that it's looking at new concepts for your on your campus that you're wanting to try, that you have found that there's a need on your campus. For example, in Michigan, they're looking at 3D printing and bringing that. So that is a new skilled job set coming to campus, and hence the name Pitch for the Skilled Trades. We've also had drones, so people are looking at learning how to fly the drones, whether it's for agriculture, for real estate, for the police department, and doing trainings like that. So we have that. Then we have cybersecurity, which is a new program. Um, Z Lab, which turned out from one headset, now they have 20 on campus because of partnerships and things of that sort. So this is about getting new skill sets, bringing new programs to your campus, and then a way to self-sustain them and get them off the ground. Um, People ask about like, well, what is an example? Well, those were some examples. One thing that if you could figure out, we would all be thrilled about is like bricklaying. Bricklaying is a traditional trade, and there's really no way to really enhance it, change it, modernize it. So to bring in a bricklaying program through the pitch is really not novel. However, though agriculture drones is agriculture drones. Then we had aquaculture with oysters, and that they were bringing in new concepts in order to refurbish and rehabilitate the oysters down in the Gulf of Mexico. Um, I hope that's adding some clarity about what type of things that have been presented and what the things that we're looking for. Um, so then we have today's webinar. I am completely available to answer any questions. Please shoot me an email. I've had people meet with me for an hour to review their pitches. I've had people meet with me for 30 minutes to at least have a concept meeting. So I am completely available to provide any assistance. And like I was saying, we also have mentors that are also available that if I'm unsure, we can pull in other resources. So the key date is Wednesday, August 14th. That is the day that the applications are due. They are due at 5 p.m. Hawaiian time. So we make sure that we want to include all of the time zones across the country. And that is a hard deadline of 5 o'clock on the 14th. Then what we will do is we will go through and review the applications. Then on Tuesday, the 20th, we will contact the colleges to let them know if they met the finalists. And what we're looking is for the application to be complete, making sure that all the questions are addressed. If the questions are not all addressed, then we will not consider you for the finalists, semifinal rounds. Then we, with answering all the questions, make sure that they meet the criteria. Then we go on to the finalists. And to be honest, we have had up to 25 semifinalists. So we do not limit it to 10. We do not limit it to 12. Same thing with the finalist rounds. We do not limit it to 2 teams, 4 teams, 6 teams. We take all the teams in and consider them independently and meeting the criteria. So I don't want you to think that we have arbitrary cutoffs. We do not. That's why sometimes we've had 4 winners at national, sometimes we've had 6 winners at national, because what the donation and grant from the Radcliffe Foundation is 150,000, but we can divide that all up. However, some colleges have asked for $5,000, some colleges have asked for 23,000, and we've had colleges who asked for 102,000. But the goal is to fund as many colleges as possible that fulfills the need to start their programs to make them successful and get started. So there's a lot of intrinsic value and thoughts that go into this competition, and that we don't have any like all the amounts cannot be more than 20,000. We only can do this, we can only do that. Everything is a variable, and we try to work with as many partners as possible. Um then we have the, finalists are gonna so those semifinals are September 3rd and 4th, and with that, I go through and I put them in random order, but I also try to take in time zones. So if you're in California, I put you in the afternoon. If you're on the East Coast, put you more in the morning, but I also mix up all the colleges so that there's equity. And in the past, legitimately, I put in a hat and I pulled out the names and I ranked them. So I try to make it as arbitrary as possible, and things of that sort. And with that, with the semifinal rounds, they're 15-minute blocks. And with that 15 minutes, it's 5 minutes to prepare, 3 minutes to present, a couple minutes for questions, close, say adieu, and then bring in the next team. So it's a very quick, rapid fire of 15 minutes. Have we had technical difficulties? Yes. Does that count against the college? No, because we take it as a practice round. And so if we run a little bit late, we haven't yet because of we've worked in our favor, but we would continue to work in the class with each college. So if there is a hindrance or a hiccup, we work with it and we try to then take that and fix that for the finals if you make it to the final round. Um, and then, of course, it's the act if you make it to the finalists, that will be held on Monday, October 14th at the national conference in Minnesota. Um, Everyone has to be present. It is a live presentation, cannot be videoed in, um, or zoomed in, I should say. So you're on the main stage. You'll have time to practice on the main stage because it is intimidating. I will acknowledge that, but a lot of people come in, they are able to practice, and they're very successful. So, and it's a warm crowd. I mean, NACCE members are warm individuals, so it's a fun group anyway that everyone's there in a supportive nature. Um, let's see. Questions so far? Excuse me. Is there any questions? One of the things is that all this information is on our website. So if you go to NACCE.com, engagement, events, see this first skill set was just mentioned before drones. Okay, I'll come right back to you, Elle. And under events, then you go to pitch for the skill trades. Everything I'm saying is there. The dates are there, the questions are there, what to look for. So there is no surprises. I work very closely with Carlene, who's the president and CEO of Radcliffe, to make sure we have a very tight, clear directions for everybody. Becky also is a huge support with it as well. So if there's any hiccups with the directions or whatever, please definitely let me know because we do not want that to happen. But I just want to make sure that there's a series of Q&A questions that you can go through, and if you answer those, you're on the right track. Then there's a sheet of paper that has a chart that says out, okay, how much money do you need? Where is the resources coming from? Do you have any matching funds? It can be matching funds that you have Maintenance, helping redo a room, so you can put that in as in-kind services that your campus is matching towards the funds. If you have any community support that they're gonna match. Um, We've had some teams come in already with community support, which is fantastic because that is the goal, is trying to match funding and move on. And I want to say 80% of the winners that I've dealt with, because I've been doing this now for 2, 3 years, they have gone back winning and getting matching funds from their community, whether it's from their actual campus foundation, whether it's from their presidential private account and gave money to contribute, or with community partnerships, like with the Z Labs. She went back and now she has 4 community partners. And then with the state, they've given in money plus on campus. So we have been very successful with the foundation of supporting success on campuses and things of that sort. Um, so you have the guidelines. And so, couple questions. Like, one question is, how long did it take you to prepare for the pitch competition? I have asked winners that because I have to meet with them quarterly. 3 to 8 months. People say the longer you have to prepare and get in all of your key, stakeholders to do that, because you will find out, like, one group started out and didn't include their faculty. Well, the reason why they didn't include their faculty was during the summer. So they felt they should have started in April to get the faculty involved in April and May, and then continue the development of the program over the summer, so when they came back in August, it wasn't all brand new. Um, Others was like getting maintenance involved to see how much the actual renovations of the space was actually gonna be. They underfunded it, but through other things, they were able to get the space renovated and things of that sort. So that was one of the things, is that you can put this together in a couple months and be successful, but most of the winners said the more time you have in planning to tweak it, the better off you are. Another question is, what you wish you had known before starting. Practicing the pitch with people who do not know the topic. That is one of the things that a couple teams have done. Like for cybersecurity, they went to the English department to practice their pitches because the English department had no idea what the cybersecurity was about, and they could help pick it apart and improve. So I'm here to practice with you and help you out. But also, they've found out on campus that to go to a different department they don't really work with, and use their colleagues' knowledge and skills to help them improve their pitches. So that was another recommendation by a college. What was the greatest outcome and or unexpected surprise achieved? Receiving matching funds from community partners. A couple colleges was thought they would only have to work within their budget. The pitch winnings to get their project off the ground. Once it hit the newspaper, people called their department. Once they had a groundbreaking ceremony, ribbon cutting ceremony, that was successful. So some of the college received support after they had a news and press release and came together to help grow their project. So that was one of the unexpected things. Did you encounter any unexpected hurdles? Yes. A couple college examples is, one, state and federal regulations. One wants to open up a daycare, which got involved with state regulations, and now they're in the process of changing state rules. Um, then another one is drones. They had to deal with the state with drones. They had to deal with the federal government with zones. The state had to approve it to get it into the air, but the federal would not put it in the air until the state approved it. So neither one would approve the drone. So what their resolution was to get the approval was put it in the gym. Then they're not outside. They were to lift it off the ground by 3 feet. They got state approval, which then allowed them to get federal approval. So that was like a 9-month ordeal. And then we had the electrical car that won, and buying it 9 months later, they may have their car. So just be aware of hurdles that you may not realize you may get into, and that may set you back, even though this is like a year project that you win. We are aware that hurdles exist. It is not going to be a perfect project. Everyone has something either between someone passing away, so the truck wasn't built, or they had turnover in staff, or whatever. So just be aware that we're not expecting perfect. We expect it to be a process that we can all learn together. And at this point, there were a couple questions, so I'm going to answer those in the chat. So, can you please share the first skill set that was just mentioned before drones from L? L, can you clarify that for me? I'm sorry, I was just talking.
No, no problem. You were just getting into the different new skill sets of programs that are being offered. And so you mentioned drones for agri and gave examples of how they would be applied in different industries. And there was one that you mentioned just before drones, and I didn't get a chance to write it down. But I think that um, it may have been technologically based. I just didn't catch it. I was writing some other stuff that you said, and it was one right before you mentioned drones. You were giving examples.
And probably could have been cybersecurity,
No,
Lead Labs. Was it Z Labs?
no, it was all before all of those. And it caught my attention because I work in apprenticeship and work-based learning at Mount San Jacinto College, and some of the other ones that you mentioned we have. And when you mentioned this first one, I said, "Oh my gosh, that's one that we need to look into," and I can't even remember what it is now.
3D printing homes?
Uh,
Actually, Dr. Toomey, I think it was bricklaying.
Okay, and see, in bricklaying was the example that unless you can come up with a way of modernizing it, it would not be a good pitch example because it's a traditional skill that really is traditional. There's hasn't been an advancement. So thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. Does that help out, Elle?
it it wasn't that one, but it's fine. It'll hopefully it'll register.
Okay.
Was it aquaculture? I
No,
wrote down aquaculture at some point.
I have that one down too.
Okay.
It was literally the one right before you said drones, and I can't even remember.
I think that one was the 3D printing.
Or
3D
the
printing.
oysters. I think it was the oyster beds.
It may have been 3D printing.
I like a team effort. This is the NACCE family at work because I'm a true academic. Once I say it, it's out of my head and I keep going. So I apologize.
No problem at all. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, good. Oh yeah, great part about the webinar being, yes, Kelly, great point. Is this only related to curriculum courses or Con Ed or workforce development? It's anything that's on your campus. It is not tied to one specific area. So yeah, it's not, that's not a thing. So however you want it, because we've had curriculum, we've had Con Ed, so it's completely flexible. Any other questions that I can help you out with right now? I'm answering everything. That's a
Are
little
you
bit scary.
seeing, I'm sorry, are you seeing the one I put in chat or?
I saw excellent.
Oh. Anyway,
Yeah, go
here's
for
my
it.
question. In the past, when I've been at the conference, I've noticed that students have been up there doing the pitch, but when I was reviewing the 2024 and the FAQs, it said it's faculty, staff, and administration. I just wondered if you could clarify that.
That is correct. I don't know if students were before, because me, but right now it is faculty, staff on campuses. So it is not a student pitch competition.
So if the students create the pitch or not at all?
So the students would be creating a program on your campus.
Yes, sort of.
That's the
Um,
Everyday Entrepreneur Program.
Okay,
Ah.
see, I was part of that, but that is all true students and everything. And this pitch is more for the academic side, program creation, and then having return on investment between jobs created, students going through the program, any of them if they start their own business and things of that sort.
Okay, I'm quite sure I saw students before, but I guess I must be wrong.
Yeah, now you can have a student as part of your presentation, and I'll get clarity on that. But this is more driven from the campus administrative operational side.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, keep the questions coming. Is there anything else I can do for you? Anyone? Okay. Let me see what about my PowerPoint and so any suggestions in creating that college team for before the pitch competition and if you win after the pitch competition? Confirm you have representation from across campus and the community if applicable. So when you are creating your pitch and putting your idea together, make sure you have at that table as many representatives as possible, because that leads to making implementation easier if you should win because they're already part of the conversation. Plus, also, the judges are in at nationals are great at coming up with questions out of the box that we had not. And I love pitch competitions and I love supporting the colleges of success. But to judge it and pick winners, that is not my forte. I'd rather support. So I try to troubleshoot with as many questions as possible to prepare the teams for the unexpected. And the judges still sometimes beat me out. So so that's one of the things is that making sure all your stakeholders and partners are at the table. And then um, the only like other thing is again, it goes back to practicing is having clarity of your projects. So one thing that we ran into last year, a lot of people were using abbreviations, NASA, MDI, IBM, CVS. Well, you may think it's one thing, but they're really referring to something else in a different genre. So we're making sure that if you're saying something, spell it all out. Um, and or yeah, so state all the words and not use abbreviations. That's a hint for this year that I wanted to provide, that we have added to the checklist. And then the other hint is ask for the money you need. If you need 42,647 cents, ask for that much. If you need $12,276, ask for that much. If you need 80,000, I mean, so don't round up or anything. Be true and be factual. That helps with the grid. Um, and as I mentioned earlier, 3 minutes, you can do that. You can do it in 3 minutes. It is doable to answer all the questions and go through it, but I strongly suggest go through the website and if you can go through and answer all the questions, and then you have the sheet, and then you have the pitch deck, which you can use the pitch deck. It's optional if you want to use your school deck. But again, all the questions are in the pitch deck. So if you go through and you're answering it, then you're covering everything on the judge's thing. So we've tried to make it as straightforward as possible and not create any curveballs for any of the participants.
Dr. Toomey, do you mind a dumb question?
No, please. Please.
So if I understand the concept correctly, we're going to go ahead and identify an innovative concept, but some of the KPIs such as, income, jobs created, return on investment, etc., actually speak to an operation that's fully functional. So we as faculty, administrators, etc., who actually starts the business?
Well, that's what, so I'm going to answer that in a couple different ways.
Okay.
One is putting in, like, you're going to bring in electrical vehicles. Well, a lot of those individuals probably will go work with a dealership or so. However, either they will work at the dealership, then go work for their own, and then that's where the businesses start, or they go into automotive and they just so happen to work on electrical vehicles, but then they go straight in and open up their automotive places. Same things like with electricians. You have to do so many hours on the job and so much. And either you go straight in and open up your own electrical, or you may work with someone for 3 to 5 years, then open it up. So
So it would
the
be the students that would open the business. So,
yes, mhm,
okay.
yes, by going through the program that you're initiating and proposing through the pitch competition.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? No more questions? Okay. Because I want to make sure, because how I look at it, all of you are going to be submitting a proposal. And I just want to make sure that everybody is happy and content. With that, I mean, I can hang on to a couple more questions, but I'm also Tumey, Tumey at NACCE.com. I'm on the website, so shoot me an email saying pitch competition, and I can either answer it in email, I can meet with you by Zoom, or by phone. So I am yours for whatever help you may need if you decide to go through this process. Thank you. Yes, as we walk through it, I'm sure we have questions. Yes, please. As you walk through it, I am your resource. So with that, I'll just let you guys go and enjoy your day, and hope you're having the beautiful weather and safe travels home.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
That's cool. That's gonna be cool.